Hey guys, it's been an interesting week this week. This engine here has started a new love-hate relationship with me, but a lot of it's my fault. So anyway, I put this engine. Well, let's back up. Bought this engine a couple of years ago. It's a V twin 21 horse Briggs. Got it for $30 off a gentleman about an hour's drive from my house. But anyway, I immediately got it home and had to just try to start it up right away. But here's that shot. As you can see, I got to run really easily and didn't have any issues that I could see at the time. No rod knobs or any other strange oddities. But I pulled it back in the garage, and the next day I found a massive old oil puddle underneath my engine stand. So I was like, oh man, I was really wanting to put this engine in little red, but decided not to. I just rolled the engine stand out to the shed and just kind of stored it there since. I ended up rebuilding the Briggs Opposed that was in red, and it runs even better now than I thought. Anyway, back to the story. I started this new Bowser project, and I thought, well, I'll bust that V-twin out and try to get it running again and put it in this build. So first thing I did was check that oil leak issue again, and I found that all but one of the 10 sump bolts were loose, like not much more than finger tight. So I thought, well, there's the problem. So I just tightened them up. I went ahead and went around, checked the specs on the head bolts, and a couple of them needed tightened up, and I went with it. I put oil in it. I let it sit on the cart back there on the stand, as you can see right here, and it didn't leak for several days, I think 5 days. So I decided, well, I'll throw it on the frame and bolt it down. Did that one evening and came out the next morning, and guess what? There was a puddle under the frame. It's like, oh man. So I took it back off, put it on the stand, tore into it, and as I suspected at the beginning, the sump gasket was shot. But anyway, here's a few pictures of me tearing the engine apart and putting a new sump gasket on. I have put it all back together. As you can see, it's on the frame again. I do not have any drips under the frame or under the engine or even on the engine plate. So far it seems successful. We'll see once I get it fired up again and see if it leaks. Won't get it fired up probably for about another week, but we'll see how it goes. I've got a new air filter coming today. I wasn't able to source one of those from any of the country stores or even hardware stores here nearby. I don't know where they are. Easily found a pair of them for $10 on Amazon. But I have put a belt on there. It's way too short. I think I need about 2 more inches in length. That one's a 93. It's the longest belt I had, but I think a 95 will be just perfect. I'm running a 1-to-1 on the pulleys, 6-inch on the engine, and then of course again on the transaxle. I did install an idler to keep the belt off the shifter. I did replace the clutch pulley with a metal one. Not much more to tell about on the update for Bowser at the moment, but I have been doing some painting. There's the access port panel. And out here in the backyard, I have painted the rear fender pan. As you can see, it's yellow. Also painted the steering tower. That's pretty much all I've done so far. As soon as I get the drive line on the tractor finished with the correct belt to where it could pretty much drive itself around if I had a seat. Who needs a seat? But anyway, as soon as I have the drive line all fixed and where I don't need to crawl under the frame to do things, because right now is the perfect time to do that because it's easy access. Next thing I need to do once I get the right belt is I need to reinstall some belt guides on the transaxle and on the engine. I know I've got the little belt guide on that idler flipped around, but that's just for alignment issues right now, just for testing. But there's a quick little update on Bowser. Hoping that I've squashed that oil leak. And hopefully next weekend I'll have some new updates. Maybe I'll have the fender pans on and the steering tower, and I'm getting ready to clean up the dash and get it repainted. And the battery. This is the battery that was in the tractor when I bought it. I thought it was a pretty old battery because it looks pretty weathered, and I see it's from Napa. But I noticed when I was looking at it, it's a March of 2018 battery, so it's not that old. Many of my batteries on my tractors are 2015 and 2016, so this is actually newer than most of those batteries. I've only got one that's brand new, and that's on Cal. But I checked it out with the multimeter. I had 2.8 volts on it. So I was like, well, let's see what happens when I put the charger on it. Well, over the course of a couple days, I charged, stopped charging, charged, and I can consistently hold 11.8 volts now. I was going to put it on the charger again this evening, but 11.8 is not too bad. It should turn this engine over just fine. But I think I get it conditioned back up to 12. Or 11.8 is pretty close as it is. Who's to say my multimeter's not off a little bit, because it's an old one with broken leads. So good battery, so that was a bonus. But there's your update. I'm hoping to have this thing started up maybe next weekend.